Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for High Velocity Radio.
Welcome to the High Velocity Radio Show, where we celebrate top performers producing better results in less time. Stone Payton Lee Cantor here with you this afternoon. Lee, this is going to be a fantastic segment. Please join me in welcoming to the broadcast CEO with SendGem, Mr. Daniel Dixon. Good afternoon, sir.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, Daniel, before we get too far into things, can you tell us a little bit about SendGem? How are you serving folks?
Absolutely. So SendGem is an automation tool, really, and it was developed to serve the home service business industry. And it's really the core purpose of it is to maximize the value of a business's current client base. And so that's what we try to do every day, in addition to just educate and spread our knowledge of the small service business industry.
And primarily it's targeting the mom and pop home service provider?
Yeah, we're typically serving customers that are doing under $10 million a year in revenue, but it could be as little as $100,000 a year.
And then the way it works is what? What exactly is the service you're providing?
Yeah, so what we do is we take your client list and we continuously interact or communicate with them via relationship marketing automation. So if you have a client, you can define how frequently and with what type of communication mode you want to communicate with them. So let's say a business just closed an invoice. Let's say a window washer closed an invoice. As soon as that invoice is closed, what we can do is enter that customer into a communication sequence. So we could send them brownies saying, thanks for your service. We really appreciate your business. And then we could follow that up with however the business owner defines, with postcards at month 3, for example, a postcard at month 6, a ringless voicemail at month 12. And it's really about just staying up with your customers and making sure that you turn them into raving fans.
And then so the communication is primarily in real life. It's not virtual?
Correct. So we have a lot of different communication modes. We can do email. We can do a ringless voicemail, which is a really cool technology. It basically sends a voicemail to the customer's cell phone, and it sends a pre-recorded voice message from the business owner. But it just shows up on the customer's phone as a missed call and a voicemail. So that's a method of communication. And then we also have print mail, which can include postcards or letters or greeting cards, as well as gifts. So we kind of cross both the physical and the digital space.
And then how much does this require of the home service provider? Because I'm sure they're just slamming doing what they do.
Yeah, so from the home service provider, a lot of this is the purpose of the software is really to make this an automated system or process for them. And so once they set up their sequences and tell us and define how they want us to interact with their customers, what we're able to do is just automate all of that for them. So once it's all set up, there's very little interaction with our system and the business owner, especially if they have a CRM or what we call a customer relationship management system that's integrated with our platform, which is called SendGem. When we have that integration there, the CRM will send us triggers that notify us, I just closed an invoice with this customer, or I just provided a bid to this customer, and those triggers will enter those customers into a sequence that the business owner has defined. So once it's set up, it's very little interaction from the business owner.
Now, when you're working with this group of people, are you seeing some kind of mistakes that they make just in terms of doing their business? Are they so heads down they don't think about kind of that kind of client nurturing or this kind of marketing?
Yeah, so we work with thousands of businesses, and I speak with small business owners every single day. And we try to coach them not just on the area of expertise that our product serves in, but just business in general. Our company's founders, as well as the executives here at SendGem, have all had experience leading or owning a small service business. And so Some of the big mistakes that we see made are people spending a lot of money on customer acquisition or equipment. And really, they have an extremely valuable resource at their fingertips, which is their own client list. And they really need to be marketing to that own client list and first, because that produces the highest ROI before they kind of invest money in other places.
Now, when they're working with you, how quickly do they see kind of some positive results? Is it something that if they do this in a fairly short order, they get new business, or do they get a lot of, well, I appreciate you sent me that brownies or that card? Do they get kind of that positive strokes first, and then eventually over time, the bet is that all that kind of positivity will lead to new business?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we really work on both the short and the long term. We have one. I'm going to give you an example to show you in the short term how quickly we can actually impact a business. So with that ringless voicemail that I talked about, we had a pressure washer just a few months back. He sent 2,100 voicemails with just the click of a button to all the customers he had done work for, but he hadn't worked for them in 18 months or more. And he just sent them a simple voicemail saying, "Hey, this is Daniel. I just wanted to follow up. We worked with you, over 18 months ago, and we have this special offer. We would love to work for you again." And it was something along those lines. And he sent 2,100 voicemails out, and he booked $30,000 of pressure washing over the next 3 weeks. So it can be very impactful in a very short period of time, like in that case. And then in addition, like you mentioned, really creating raving fans and building that repeat business over 6 months to a year would be on the longer term side of things.
Now, can you walk our listeners through what that initial consultation looks like when you're talking to a home service provider? Because I would imagine a lot of times they haven't done anything this robust. Maybe they've tried some tactics here and there, but to do this kind of strategic kind of plan in this manner, I would imagine the onboarding is very important to make sure that you understand kind of the personality of the organization, their goals, the outcomes they desire, and how does that work, that onboarding conversation?
Yeah, absolutely. So we try to start with understanding their business, like you mentioned, and really understanding where they are in their business, what their needs are, what they may be doing well, or where they have opportunities for improvement. And then we just show them our product, if it's a good fit, and say, this is what our product can do. We even tell them in the education process that all of this stuff really can be done manually. The problem is that as we get busy, we don't keep up with the manual processes that we know should be happening, right? Every small business owner knows that sending a thank you card is a great idea. But the problem is that we get busy and we can't follow through with it. Or even if you have employees that do it for you, they, for one reason or another, it just doesn't happen. And so this just, we show them the product. We say, we can automate this for you. And really that, in most cases, that light bulb goes off and they become a customer, and then we help them get all set up and implement best practices with our tool. In other cases, the business just isn't ready for it yet. And in those cases, we just, we're here for support and helping, but it's not for everybody.
But when you're having that consultation, I bet no matter what, whether they decide to buy from you or not, you're kind of educating them on what could be.
Absolutely. Yep. We kind of talk about best practice and the follow-up and how to create raving customers. And, most of the people know what they should be doing, but it's the lack of consistent execution that's the challenge.
Right. It's just showing up matters. And this is a way that you can just show up reliably and predictably and in kind of a set it and forget it manner. If you build the foundation properly, the machine's going to do all the work from that point forward.
That's exactly right.
So now how do you kind of stay on top of things and stay on top of the trends and the best way to reach out to people so that you're always providing that great service back to your clients?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we pride ourselves as a small technology company in this home service industry. There's not a lot of technology that's been developed or focused at the home service industry. So we're constantly scanning what's happening in other industries and seeing how we could apply that to the home service business, and trying to bring that technology to our clients. So one of the really exciting things that we are working on developing for our customers to that point is bringing them a handwritten postcard, so that our system would be one of the options that they could actually send. Again, just to improve the return on investment for their marketing dollars. What research shows is that the handwritten note actually performs 30 times better than an email. And so we're constantly looking for new ways to kind of squeeze every bit out of that marketing dollar for our customers.
Now, do you have any data on how much, in terms of percentage of kind of communication, how much should be just appreciating, thanking, and supporting and celebrating the work of your clients, and how much should be like pitching and selling?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's different for every business, and there's a lot of different philosophies on this out there. We like to tell our clients to really stay top of mind, and most of the communication should be thanking, educating, providing some type of value to them. And then the sell or the ask doesn't have to happen very often, if ever, if you're always adding value to your client, because when they need your service, they're going to come to you, because no one else is adding value or communicating with them like your business will be. But in the instance where you do have a sell, or you want to actually sell them something, you'll have much better results if you've built that relationship with them.
If you're just now joining us, you're listening to High Velocity Radio. We are visiting with the CEO with SendGem, Mr. Daniel Dixon. Daniel, Stone Payton here. I got to know, man, what is your backstory? How did you get involved with all of this?
Yeah, that's a great question, Stone. So my backstory is I was actually a military officer. And while I was in the military, I got my MBA and really fell in love and became passionate about business, and specifically entrepreneurship. That's what I focused in school. And when I got out of the military, I decided to go into business consulting, kind of sharpen my skills and get thrown into the deep end, if you will, in corporate America. I did that for a number of years, but continued to come back to this idea of entrepreneurship. Started a carpet cleaning company, and in the process of that, just found my way into this amazing product called SendGem, and ended up, doing a little bit of work on the side for SendGem, a little bit of type of consulting, and then eventually was asked to lead the company as we continue to grow. So a little bit of a backwards path, if you will, or convoluted journey, but that's how I ended up here.
So what do you find the most rewarding, man? What do you like the best?
Oh, the most rewarding for sure is hearing the success stories from our clients. They call back and say, hey, you wouldn't believe what I did, or you wouldn't believe I sent out, $40 in postcards and booked a $2,500 job. It just, stuff like that absolutely makes my day. It makes me smile, because I know that, especially for small business, right? When I was in corporate America consulting, the face of who you're helping isn't necessarily that clear. You're helping a person that works in that company, but at the end of the day, you're helping thousands of shareholders. But in this business, when you know the business owner, and when you've seen that success or watched them do something that's really impactful to their business, you're impacting them and their families and their employees, and it's just really rewarding to see those successes.
Okay, I can't take it anymore. We got to let our listeners know you guys have decided to sponsor a new show on the Business RadioX network called Home Services Radio. What is your thinking, mission, purpose? What are you hoping to accomplish by sponsoring that show?
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys letting us do this, but the hope of the show is really to educate people out there on what the best practices are for home service businesses, to answer questions for people, and to kind of get some business owners out there that other business owners can relate with. So we hope to have some of our clients, some people who are not our clients, just come and talk about their journey in small business, and hopefully just educate your audience and the audience of the show so that everybody can be successful. There's a lot of work to go around, and we would like every business to kind of know what we know, and this is one of the ways that we think we can help do that.
Well, if somebody wanted to learn more about Send Jim, what's the best way to get a hold of you guys?
Absolutely. So you can go to sendjim.com. There you'll be able to see some videos, check out our demo, sign up for a free trial. If you have questions or want a more personal experience, I will actually give out my email. My email is Daniel, that's DANIEL, at sendjim.com. That's Daniel at sendjim.com, and SendJim is SENDJIM. You can also call us at 855-663-5937. And we're a real small team here, and we love helping small business. So reach out in any of those methods, and we'd love to talk to you.
Now, we've used the term home service. Can you define some of those kind of businesses that fall under that umbrella of home service?
Absolutely. So anybody that's going to anybody that has a business that's going to a residential home or address to do their work, that's a home service business to us. So that's going to be people that are building fences, washing windows, cleaning carpet, pressure washing, doing roofing, HVAC, all those type of things. If you're going to somebody's house to do your work, this is a great show for you to listen to, tune in, and just learn with other business owners out there.
Good stuff, Daniel. Thank you so much for sharing your story today. That's Daniel Dixon with sendjim.com. Yep. Go ahead, Daniel. What?
Yep. Thanks for having me on. I just wanted to say I appreciate it and look forward to hearing from all the listeners.
All right. This is Lee Cantor for Stone Payton. We will see you all next time on High Velocity Radio.